Dominic Mazzotta, I mean, he's a spectacular fighter. He's got great skill, a lot of athleticism in this guy. So, you know, just watch out for some fireworks. Last fight got a head kick, KO. That was pretty crazy.
He said he was going to do it again. He looks relaxed. He's dancing into the ring here. And Mazzotta's one of those guys, everybody wants to say it, every fighter wants to say it. He is one of those guys that really can do it anywhere, stand up or on the ground.
Right.
Nicknamed the Honey Badger. No, Chris Kunitz does not have the trademark patent on that. It can be shared. He's even got the Honey Badger t-shirts as he comes into the ring. He'll be squaring off against Jordan Espinosa. Espinosa coming out of Findlay, Ohio from the Demolition fight team. You guys, I know, are very familiar with Mazzotta. When it comes to Jordan Espinosa, he's a wrestler, said to have very good hands, quick, and kind of a guy who is known for being opportunistic. If the other fighter makes a mistake, he's there to pounce.
Right. Jordan, I mean, being a wrestler, that'll play in nice against Dominic Mazzotta, but, you know, it's hard to say because Dominic's been working on his wrestling game a really long time, and again, being a part of Matt Factory, you know, he's going to have a lot of good guys to work with.
Yeah, Dominic's a high-level wrestler, no doubt about it, which is why he can be successful in his stand-up game, because people are just, you know, expecting him to wrestle, and that opens up opportunities for kicks and things like that. Espinosa, it could be interesting. I did not have the chance to do the background research on this. He mentions Olympic gymnast as what he's been working on, and he's been working on his backflip. So, you know, maybe he's trying to allude to the fact that he's athletic and his athleticism will come into play here. I've never seen anybody employ a backflip in a mixed martial arts competition, but could be a first.
I wish I could do a backflip.
Very contrasting styles in the sense, as we point out in the open of this broadcast, at the beginning of the evening, Mazzotta predicted a hard kick to the head to wrap things up like he did in about half a minute the first opportunity he had to fight here at Stage AE last time out on the North Shore in July. He won almost instantly with a kick, and he said the same thing was going to happen this time around. Meanwhile, you get Espinosa. When he was asked to predict how the fight would end, he said, no clue. And they said, well, if you're going to do it via TKO, KO, submission, or decision, how would it go? He said, all of the above. I'm not quite sure he can do all four to win a fight, but I suppose that Jordan is one who's more comfortable in gray area than the Honey Badger is, huh?
Right, absolutely. As far as Dominic Mazzotta, I mean, it's going to be a tough one, especially trying to deal with that head kick.
Yeah, some guys, they play, you know, they play gamesmanship, mind games, even with themselves.
The Rehab Center gives you a look at how these fighters stack up in our professional main event. Mazzotta and Espinosa. Dominic, the Honey Badger, Mazzotta versus Jordan Espinosa. Right now, for the official introduction, let's go into the cage with Dan Bogan.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to remind you once again, this evening's bouts are approved and sanctioned by the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission. The Executive Director, Greg Zerb. The Commissioner ringside is the Honorable Ron Rositano. A reminder, our judges this evening are and have been Philip Rogers, Mr. Todd Krushka, and John Lapsovic. Our referee, and again, an outstanding job, Chip Snyder. Our timekeeper at the bell, Stephen Kruth, and our physician at ringside, Dr. Lawrence Biscuit. I'm your ring announcer, Dan Bogan. Pittsburgh, are you ready for the main event? First, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighs in at 136 pounds, 67-inch reach. He's got a 2-0 record. He fights from the Mat Factory in Lower Borough. Let's welcome Dominic, the Honey Badger Mazzotta! And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 foot 7 inches tall, weighs in at 135 pounds. He's got a 67-inch reach and a 3-1 record. He represents Demolition fight team from Findlay, Ohio, Jordan Espinosa!
Well, Jordan Espinosa knows that he is outnumbered when it comes to fan support, and he seems to be loving every minute of it. He knew where he was coming to. He knew that the entire fan base would be on the side of the Honey Badger in this one, but Espinosa not put off in the least.
Some guys feed off of that. They absolutely feed off of this fuel for their fire. We'll see if that, if that's the case here. They both seem incredibly relaxed for the main event. Consummate professionals here.
All right, guys, you got a call on this one before it starts?
I got Mazzotta. Winning this. I look at it as it's going to be a tough fight for him, probably due to his decision.
Mazzotta's looking real hard to follow through on his promise of knocking this out quick with a kick. Does he leave himself open to get punched himself?
I can't call this one. Espinosa's athleticism, which I thought was going to be a factor. However, he keeps dropping his hands, and Mazzotta sees it. He loaded up that back leg like he was going to throw that kick already.
The one thing I won't do, going back to describing what you're going to do to win the fight. Oh, that was a nice Superman off the cage there.
You could see him lining up the cage, trying to feel where the cage was to push off to get a little extra oomph.
Big overhand right. But having that calling it out, it just puts a more mental factor. Great takedown. And the crowd goes crazy.
That's how you neutralize athleticism in the stand-up game, and I think Mazzotta was starting to feel that he was going to be, outgunned in that regard on the feet. He needs to get Espinosa worn down a little bit before he can maybe launch that lightning strike kick.
What kind of a feeling is that for Mazzotta, who is an athlete himself, to know that he might be in there with someone who is a bit more athletic? Is that off-putting, knowing that's one of your strengths? Because he is an athletic fighter himself.
It is a bit heart-wrenching when you get out there, and now he's got his back, though. I think he's feeling pretty good right now.
Espinosa's flat. This is very, very bad for Espinosa.
Situation.
A lot of time left and around. Their bodies are still relatively dry, too. Mazzotta can be patient and work from here. Oh, Espinosa.
He's got his leg, and that's actually saving him right now. We've got to watch out for the armbar from the back. No, Espinosa's on top.
Good job by Espinosa. Very, very well played defensively.
Takes him down right there.
Once again, Mat Factory guys, relentless. They're relentless. They train that way. They don't stop.
Guys, when you've seen other gyms and fighters come from other places where they work out, is it as consistent as it is at the Mat Factory in that context, or does that stand out more than most coming from the Mat Factory?
To me, the Mat Factory kind of rises above most in terms of a personality of the gym. The personality of the gym really comes through in the fighters.
Mazzotta's throwing some hammers.
And, we're talking about Eddie Vincent, black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, Isaac Greeley, collegiate wrestler, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, all at the Mat Factory training these guys.
About 2 minutes left in round one of our main event here.
It's, the Mat Factory could be the Jackson's Martial Arts of the Pittsburgh area here, if they aren't already very soon.
Espinosa sort of surveying the situation with Mazzotta in the dominant position.
Elbow. Working those elbows. That's such a great thing, great weapon in professional mixed martial arts. But
Espinosa with the feet on the hips, he's able to create space.
Doing a great job.
Good defense. Now he worked to get it stood up. Good job by Espinosa.
And Mazzotta wanted it back on his feet as well.
Interesting combinations by Espinosa. I'm curious to know what his, background is in martial arts. It looks like he probably was doing it when he was a kid.
Good movement, good footwork.
Yeah, Espinosa constantly on the balls of his feet, bouncing around.
Mazzotta is really looking to set up that that left kick a la Mirko Cro Cop. Which, if I were Mazzotta's corner, I wouldn't want to see him go completely one-dimensional.
Right.
Probably, Adam, you could speak to this as a professional yourself. If you call a shot, beautiful kick right there. If you call your shot that you want to end a fight a certain way, you can hurt yourself by getting it in your mind and make yourself one-dimensional.
Right.
And your own ego, trying to overcome it.
Yeah, the MMA is probably 90% mental, and any more mental stress you put on you is going to really weigh you down in a fight.
If you feel like you have to live up to something, that you said,
that's why I hate people picking me to win in a fight.
That'll end round 1. What'd you think of what you saw there, guys? If you're going to be on the judges' scorecard, you give that to Mazzotta?
Mazzotta.
Yeah, definitely 10-9 Mazzotta.
Take a look at the leg sweep coming up in just a moment here.
There's your wrestling. Good, fundamental, single leg takedown.
You know what, guys? I look at Espinosa right now talking to his folks in the corner, and he probably knows that round went against him, but he didn't seem all that phased walking off the mat and walking over to the stool.
He might be in it for the long run, might be trying to grind it out, tiring him out. Looks like he's got great cardio. If he's moving like that in the first round, I'd like to see what he's like in the third round.
Yeah, to that point, Brian, maybe you can follow up on that. If the athleticism and the quickness is what Espinosa has over Mazzotta, that's got to wane over the next 10 minutes if he does try to take it the distance, though, does it not?
Without question. He's going to be a step slower in the second round than he was in the first. So if he's relying on that, then, it's like an energy bar in a video game. It's going to go down. You can't stop it.
The Rehab Center giving you round 2 of the main event here.
Oh, big right hand by Mazzotta.
Beautiful big right. Very, that's a fundamental mixed martial arts technique. Big overhand right into a shot for a takedown. Do you utilize that, Adam?
Absolutely. I wrestled my entire life, but I like to strike. There's not a greater feeling than knocking somebody out. So. And I think that's what Mazzotta's going off right now.
It's a good back and forth battle here. This is a good fight.
I like how Mazzotta actually uses it to he's changing his leads quite a bit. What that's doing is that's setting up a power leg to the inside, and that can definitely catch. If he wants to go for that head kick, that can definitely catch him.
These guys have really gone tit for tat a lot on low kicks, and they've landed them. I know they don't feel good, and they take their toll over the course of the fight. And they both are trying to fire the counter straight right off of that low leg kick. Again, Mazzotta begins to employ the wrestling.
Yep. Nice.
I can't see a situation where Espinosa is going to be able to neutralize that attack. He's got to keep the distance and just break down Mazzotta over time.
Good elbow.
This action taking place right in front of us here at Stage AE.
Mazzotta's wanting to posture up here.
What he needs to do is he needs to try to pass that guard to gain a better position. Right now, Espinosa has an ability to submit from guard. If you're ever on top, you need to be outside of guard because you give your opponent on the bottom an opportunity to tap you out. If you're outside of that, there's no way that they can do it. They either have to get out or get back to guard.
Yeah, on that point, I find it interesting that Espinosa's guard keeps opening up. Mazzotta's really not making any effort to pass.
Right.
Not putting a hand on a knee, not shifting, sliding his knee up through the legs of Espinosa. He's just trying to posture and rain down. What that's allowing Espinosa to do, even with the open guard, now he's passed, is usually he's been getting his feet on the hips of Mazzotta.
Limiting him out. Espinosa gives up his back, and the hooks go right in.
Espinosa weathered this earlier.
This is the worst position in mixed martial arts.
I hate it.
This is the worst. Espinosa needs to keep his chin tucked. He needs to get his knees to the ground. He's got to shoot one leg straight. It looks like he's sunk into rear naked.
If you see that body, if the legs and the head are coming up opposite like that,
that's it.
That's the tap, that's it. Dominic Mazzotta has won. The Honey Badger is victorious in our main event over Jordan Espinosa. in the second round. After the tap, Chip Snyder calls it, and Mazzotta is victorious at stage AE.
As Adam said, that's just a terrible, terrible position. When you give up your back, the next most important thing is not to get flattened out. When you get flattened out,
that's hard to get out of.
8 or 9 times out of 10, probably it's going to be over.
Let's take a look at the replay of the tap out. You know this hurts, and you know the Honey Badger, he don't care.
He doesn't care one bit.
Great. That was a nice double leg sweeping off to the side. Looked like he was trying to pass the side control. And then eventually Espinosa gave up his back. He got the hooks in.
Guys, this is where it's important for, especially at the professional level, you have to train every aspect. And even at this level, you got to go to jiu-jitsu classes to be able to have that ability to defend in those situations. Wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, you got to be able to do it all.
Let's go to the ring and hear from Dan Bogan and get the official fight announcement of the victory for Dominic the Honey Badger Mazzotta.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you enjoy Gladiators of the Cage, North Shore's Rise to Power 3? A quick reminder, watch us on Facebook. Our next event will be probably March or April of 2014. Let's go to the official decision. This fight ended in round 2 in 2 minutes and 57 seconds due to a tap out via the rear naked choke for your winner, Dominic the Honey Badger Mazzotta!
Katie O'Malley is in the ring right now with the Honey Badger. Katie, let's hear from tonight's main event champion.
Thank you very much, Tim. Dominic, you got the hometown crowd on their feet now, defending your undefeated record. How's it feel to win tonight?
It feels good. First time as a main event. My first time at 35, I had trouble covering weight. Fell a little flat. I wish I would have performed a little bit better. I think, I wish I would have put on a little bit more of a show, but, I did what I had to do to win. Thank everybody for coming out, supporting me, the whole crowd.
Once your opponent opened up his back to you, were you committed to finishing the fight in that rear naked choke?
What was that again?
Once he opened up his back to you, were you committed to finishing the fight in the rear naked choke?
Yeah, that's just something a lot of guys do, and I like to keep the fight standing. I wanted to wear him out a little bit, then try to knock him out. But like I said, I felt a little bit flat on my feet today. I think it was because of the weight cut, first time ever. But I like to thank my coaches all the time, but everybody knows my coaches, so. I want to thank a coach that really doesn't get enough respect. And it's not actually a man, it's a woman. And it's my mom. She's my #1 coach through life, no matter what. She's been there for me through everything and supported me no matter what it was, whether business, whether it was rap music, or whether it was fighting. She's always been there for me. And, she's the woman that made me, and she is right there. She's the woman that made me go to Taekwondo. Even if I cried and I didn't want to, she would make me go, and, that's why I'm here right now.
Congratulations. Much respect to you and, of course, your mother. Oh, he's got one more thing before we let you go.
There's somebody that called me out last week, and I think he's here tonight. You know who you are. I'm not going to say your name because I don't want to give you that much respect in front of these people. Because that's all you try to do is, you want to call me out because of my fan base and because I'm doing good. But, you see what's going on here. You see the TV screens. You see us on TV. If you want to fight, come over to my town, baby.
There is our champion. Tim, back to you.
All right, Katie O, thank you very much. Our main event champion, Dominic Honey Badger Mazzotta. Guys, you got any idea who's talking about there at the end, or?
Well, they're looks like they're jawing right now.
Cody Garbrandt.
This is going to turn into WWE. Do we need to hide the folding chairs, or?
They were nose to nose there for a few seconds.
Is this a setup for our next Gladiators of the Cage, perhaps?
Could be.
It could be, absolutely.
All right, we'll come on back, talk about that a little bit more, and talk about what we just saw tonight. The Ron Gillette wrap-up show is coming up next at Stage AE.
Badass Pads, the new reusable motorcycle seat. Badass Pads use pressure-sensitive sticky gel to ensure no scratches, rings, or dents. Badass Pads also feature a gel and memory foam insert for maximum comfort. Application is easy. Simply remove the protective plastic and place on a clean, dry fender or rider seat. When done, replace the plastic and store for the next ride. Get your Badass Pad today. Available in 3 sizes at badasspads.com.
I'm Heidi Roop, owner of the Gold Buyers of Pittsburgh.
And I'm Phil Bork, the old 2-9er. And if you're in the market for beautiful jewelry or high-end watches, then visit my friends at Gold Buyers of Pittsburgh.
We have engagement rings, wedding bands, diamond necklaces, silver, and vintage jewelry, all priced at 50 to 60% off retail.
I bought gifts for my family, and they were amazed.
Visit us on Lebanon Road in West Mifflin across from the Harley-Davidson store for all your gift-giving needs.
Stop by today. You'll be glad you did.
It's the Ron Gillette wrap-up report. Adam Milstead, Brian Fyack, and me, Tim Benz, here from Stage AE on the North Shore. What a night it was, and guys, the only people who had an easy night tonight were the judges. We only saw 2 of 12 bouts go to the judges' cards. Everything else via submission, knockout, or TKO.
Great night of fights, top to bottom. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, Gladiators of the cage. That's the way to go, man.
Let's go to the Gold Buyers knockout of the night. And we're going to go to the Bard fight because that was our lone knockout of the evening. Take us through it, fellas.
And we see Andy walking right into that right hand.
Andy had been caught before the end of the last round. He might have still been foggy, and Bard was able to capitalize.
Yeah, and Bard took advantage and bridged the gap between the rounds to finish off the job he almost had in the previous round. Now, as far as our fight of the night, it has to be the main attraction, where Dominic the Honey Badger Mazzotta got the victory, courtesy of the Rehab Center. Let's flash back.
Nice single leg takedown, good wrestling. Mazzotta really won it with his wrestling over Espinosa.
Absolutely great ability to grind it out, and then he sunk in that nasty rear naked choke. Good job from Mazzotta.
Now, what about the post-fight shenanigans after Mazzotta got the victory? Is this a setup for the next event in March or April here at Stage AE? And are these two in the same weight class? Or what can we expect here between him and Cody?
That's the thing. Cody Garbrandt went up a weight class, so we'll see what happens if he can come down. I certainly would like to see that fight.
How would that go, do you think, Brian?
Oh, boy. Entertaining.
Clearly spirited after what we saw in the ring afterwards, right?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, clearly those guys have no love lost.
Any style?
Well, I'm going to say right now it's just a style of who wants to outwork the other. You know, these guys come in, they got tons of cardio, so they're going to come in here and make a war, basically.
All right, well, for Katie and for Brian and Adam, I'm Tim Benz, and we got something to look forward to already for springtime. Can't wait for the next event here at Stage AE. Gladiators of the Cage. It'll be Rise to Power 4. And we're already building for one gigantic main event. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the evening.